franchise baseball history of the Angels of Los Angeles dates way back to the 1892 season, shortly before American League Baseball began in 1901. In 1961, Gene Autry was granted an expansion team and created the Los Angeles Angels in the big leagues. They have changed their names 4 times in the past 54 years, going under California Angels and Anaheim Angels. From 1966 to 96, the California Angels made 3 playoff appearances, and upon becoming the Anaheim Angels in 1997, they got their first and only World Series victory in 2002. They spent 8 years in Anaheim and have now made 5 playoff appearances in their 10 years back as the Los Angeles Angels. The Angels come off a fairly successful 2014 season after winning the American League West Division by 10 games and making it to the playoffs. After a 4-year absence from the postseason, the Angels got swept out of the 3-game divisional round, making it the 6th time since 2002 championship season that the team has been eliminated in early October. In winning 98 games and breaking the 60% win ratio for the first time since their 2002 championship season, the club had high hopes in getting to host the Royals in the Division Series playoffs. They lost the first 2 home games and eventually got swept in 3 games by the upstart Royals. Some players to watch for 2015, with 520 home runs and over 1,600 RBIs, Albert Pujols tore up the National League Central Division as a Cardinal for 11 years, and he now enters his 4th season in LA. His power numbers have not achieved quite the success over his time in the National League, with nagging injuries taking him off the field, which affected his game even when returning. He now looks to be ready for the new year. Pujols also has had a little help from Mike Trout, arguably the best player in all of baseball. Fantasy League owners cannot jump high enough to buy him, and he is certainly the 5-tool player if there was ever one. Jared Weaver has got to have another year like he had the last 3 of 4 in an Angels uniform, winning at least 18 games as the ace of the staff and never having a losing season in 9 years on the mound for the team. Much has been made of the offseason developments of star outfielder Josh Hamilton and a supposed renewal of a drug addiction situation, so that turmoil may surround the team entering 2015. It is hard to imagine what could have been in 2014 if injuries to Garrett Richards didn't come at an inopportune time and Hamilton wasn't playing so poorly down the stretch and through the playoffs. The team made the playoffs for the first time in 5 years, but didn't show up when it mattered and got swept out of the postseason. They did bring in Houston Street as a closer, and he has been relatively successful closing the door, especially in late close games. The Angels are favored, with Seattle close by to take the American League West this year, and certainly injuries are something no one can account for. Outside of Pujols and Trout, with a possible Hamilton, the power numbers might not be there for this club. And with a pitching staff lacking in depth in the 4 and 5 starter rotation, this club could face some problems. We might suggest the total under 88 wins this year, even though they did finally get back into the playoffs, snapping their 4-year drought. Don't forget that the Bang the Book Betting Center is your best resource for information before you make your weekly assault on the sportsbooks.